So at the last board meeting, I screwed up. How's that for coming straight out of the gate? I wasn't thinking about when we started talking about Bill 17937 regarding the Guam International Municipal Golf Course turned into a solar farm. I wasn't thinking that issuing a letter down to the legislature was something that was open government, and it obviously was. And at the same point in time, I had our attorney doing three things and trying to figure out how to extend the board. Anyways, I take credit blame on this one. I apologize. So it was brought to our attention after the meeting that since the vote was not on our agenda, that we actually broke the open government rules. That I believe this was not our intent, and I do apologize as being the chairman. No letter was sent. And I don't think we actually need to send a letter going forward, just kind of move on with this. The community has heard our views on this. I think it's out there. But I just want to reiterate a couple things and also make sure the board know about something. I did personally issue a letter a few weeks back on this one, on my own letterhead. And I pointed out a few things, and I sent it to Senator St. Augustine, opposing the bill based on a couple things, or a few things. One, I believe that the Chamorro Land Trust provided a lease under favorable terms to GCIC for a specific purpose, and that was to build a golf course. If GCIC is unable to make these lease payments as a golf course operator, which they hadn't, this should have been foreclosed on a long time ago. So the parties in interest at that point, I don't think should be at the table. After foreclosure, Chamorro Land Trust would have an improved assets on their books. There's a golf course sitting there. I believe it's worth more than $7 to $9 million. So turning around and issuing a lease out for something worth less than your assets, I don't know if it's the best use of money. As the military buildup continues, I believe that we, as island leaders, need to maintain our parks and recreational spaces for the local community. An ongoing municipal course will benefit the youth and the seniors for an affordable golf and recreation space. When that golf course was operational, we had some really good golfers on this island that ended up having college careers and getting scholarships. Over the last few years, those that have been able to make it to that level have had to go over one more hurdle in order to get training grounds, and that's to somehow get access to Anderson Air Force Base. With 6,000 Marines coming in December, I do not believe that will be a space open to our kids anymore. Second, if you go to the old Starts Golf Course, there was local people that had lifetime memberships that have been revoked. So I just don't see that going away. So the point was we're going to run out of supply. If there's no response to the RFP for a golf operator, then I believe that the RFP for best use is a more suitable way to go with things. And solar might be there, housing might be there, whatever's there. But I also stated that I applauded Chamorro Land Trust's efforts for setting aside land for a solar farm in order to generate cash flow in order to do the things that they've been trying to do for a long time, and I do applaud them on that. To this point, I think that the media over the last couple of weeks has missed what we were talking about here last week, and so I'd like to clarify it. Again, we're not going to issue a letter, but I want to clarify. We were in no means talking about being anti-solar. I think everyone at the table would like to see solar. No one at this table was anti-housing, for God's sake. We would want to find ways possible to help with housing. In fact, I think Chamorro Land Trust would if they could set aside, I think we would be very willing to help them to set up a comprehensive strategy to figure out what parcels out there are commercial leasable, and then turn around and provide, put operational leases in play, go with the legislature, get what's there, and then take that money and turn it into the infrastructure money that's there for housing, including if they've got into the solar business, find 6, 7, 8 parcels around the island, pre-clear them, pre-permit them, so that the investor knows they're coming in, that they don't have to deal with what you're going to have to deal with clearing that size of land, so that you can get a better lease. If you're a developer coming in and you don't know what your obstacles are going to be, you might be willing to give $1. If you know what your obstacles are going to be, you might get $1.50. So I think that there's ways that. What I wanted to point out was, I think for the room, that no one at this table was talking about being negative to solar, and no one was being negative to housing. Am I right? So I'm just going to leave it. We're not going to issue a letter. We're not going to go down that path again. But I wanted to make sure it was clear that I think everyone at the table was trying to not have a zero-sum solution here. that we were trying to create a positive solution, a positive sum solution, where you got to keep a municipal golf course, for God's sake, and build a solar farm and do the infrastructure. I think we could do it all. I think that's what the group was coordinating and talking about. We were anti-anything, and so I believed we needed to put that out there. So I do apologize for moving that along and asking for a motion for a letter. I wasn't thinking. I've been around long enough to know better than that. I do apologize. That was not the intent. But I also wanted to point out, I wanted to make it clear that we were getting some press out there that we were somehow anti housing and anti-solar, and that was not what was going on in this room, and I wanted to clarify that. So thank you for all that, and I apologize for my board members.
Thanks for clarifying that
Yeah.
again, Mr.